the hottest action interview show on the planet. Welcome to Hollywood Action Masters. I'm Scotty Arnold, and I'm a martial artist, stuntman, and action actor, and have been doing that for a long time. Now, stuntmen and stuntwomen don't get the recognition that they deserve, and Hollywood Action Masters is here to do just that.
Roman, you praying, aren't you? $50 says he's praying right now. You need some fresh air? Because you about to get a whole lot of it.
Okay, here we go.
Just when you didn't think it could get any better, huh?
This is amazing. I'm sitting with the second unit team of Furious 7. Andy Gill, Debbie Evans, Phil Culotta, and Steve Kelso. Thank you for coming. Thank you. I appreciate this. I got to get right into it. What was the energy like on this film?
High energy every day. Everybody's got to be on their A game when we're doing Furious films. And a lot going on, a lot of energy every day because there is so much going on that you have to stay up. If you start getting tired and want to take a nap somewhere, you miss out on little details that you have to be aware of to do this kind of action. Because each one of those guys that I put them in positions, their lives are dependent on what the other guys are doing around them. And so they all have to work together and know what each other's doing. So the energy's always high. It's always fun. We always have a great time together. It's a family.
Let's talk about the opening sequence. The downhill sequence. Can you guys talk about that?
It was fun.
Pikes Peak.
Pikes Peak. Pikes Peak was a opening sequence. They wanted a grand opening for the sequence, and it started months before in meetings, and we fought hard to get it where it became for what you're going to see on film. And it's a combination of aerial sequence, road race sequence, off-road sequence, all put together in one that's going to knock your socks off.
Now you guys dropped cars out of a C-130.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we had opening sequence. They have to infiltrate this road in a mountain area that's impenetrable. It starts at the top of a mountain. It's got a big compound up there, so they can't get there. And the only way you can get to it is either through the woods or no way by car. So they come up with this idea that they're going to drop their cars out of a C-130 with parachutes. So that's what we did. We dropped real cars out of a C-130 with parachutes, and it was a trip. Phil was there with me up in the airplane, and we were dropped two at a time, and we had two cars of each one of our players that were dropped, and we would drop two cars. They would open. We'd go down, land, put two more cars in, go up, drop two more cars, and just keep doing drops all day long until we ran out of light. And it was interesting.
The biggest thing is, Andy, is Spiro's and this group's taking stunts back to actually doing the physical stunts and using the CG to fix the stuff that we can't really do. So instead of it all being CG, those cars, we're straight up in Arizona. We have a drop zone, and it's intense, man. And those lights start blinking up there, and the counter starts coming down when we're coming to the LZ, and we have our Red Bull guys sitting there getting ready to chase these cars out. It's
photographers.
It's and cameras running down with making moves as these cars leave and come out in the parachutes. It's just insane.
Yeah. And we had 14 people in the aircraft with the two cars, and it was a team of three skydivers with the cameras on their helmets. The stunt team in there that was safetying everybody around, watching everything and setting it up. You had the load master and his guys. You had the effects guys in there. You had the camera grips in there that had to tweak all the camera stuff for the interior cameras. We had camera sliders, like he said. It was a tight packed aircraft with 2 cars that are going to be sliding out one after another.
Debbie, what was this like for you?
I wasn't there when they dropped the cars, but I was in the car they dropped. So they got the cars falling, and then they put us up on a cable really high up.
Oh yeah,
and,
really high
and
up.
my out was I had to pull a quick release to make the thing drop, and I had a certain mark that I had to hit, and a very narrow road with a sharp left-hand curve and then right-hand curve out. And when you looked at it with the eye, I was thinking, phew, I hope I can make this, because it was really tight. Also, you know, it was on a Y, the quick release, so we had the quick release here and here, and I was just hoping and praying that both quick releases went at the same time, because sometimes one will go and the other one won't. Yeah, which means that the car swings down, and then you have a whole big wreck. Yeah. So anyways, your adrenaline's going, it's just really hot, you know, in there, and you're just waiting for it to happen, and everything kind of slows down when they say rolling and action, and you start going, and you start seeing your mark, you pull, and then I had to keep the wheels, the wheels couldn't be spinning, so I'm just hoping that engine doesn't die on me. Yeah. And so I'm kind of gassing it a tiny bit with the brake on just to keep that engine running, but the wheels from spinning. And as soon as I felt it release, I got on the gas, it hit, bounced on out. I don't know how I made it out of there, but I did.
Now, and you're on Pikes Peak Mountain Road. I mean, it's
Pikes Peak. I mean, that was a dream come true for me, because I have always wanted to race Pikes Peak.
That we did all the drops out of the aircraft. Then once you get them out of the aircraft, we cut to Pikes Peak, and that's where we have them on these big slide for lives. And Debbie and Steve was in a 71 Charger. Debbie was in a 2014 Challenger. Mm-hmm. We had Jay Lynch in a Jeep and Lance in a WRX. And the way the sequence was written originally is they had planned all this. His car had about 18 inches of travel. It was built for impacts, high impacts and jumps and everything else. Mm-hmm. Well, about 2 weeks before we were going to film it, Universal got together with the powers that be, and all of a sudden the car that she was going to be driving changed to the Challenger. It was going to be an off-road Mustang, or off-road Camaro, that we had already built, already had the suspension. So all these cars that we were dropping, we're going to drop with full suspension. Well, she gets a car that's just a stock Challenger. I mean, just like you ride down the road. So it doesn't have 18 inches of suspension like all they have. and so she's got to ride it down, and it's so off-road in one of those cars, and no suspension. And
well, remember they love to put, Dennis loves to put those big wide tires on.
Oh yeah.
And then I looked underneath the front end.
They're hitting.
Yeah, and it was hitting on the suspension bolt, you know, so.
A lot of little trouble. Because of that, we found out little things like that on the set. Like she had no suspension because it was bottoming out on the suspension bolts with the wide tires. There were other little issues with the cars because we never got to see a car until the day before that drop. The drop was the first thing we ever filmed. And nobody had any time in cars. We didn't get to see the cars. I usually have cars a week, 2 weeks in advance just to drive them to see if everything works on them, because a lot of them are built from the ground up.
Hey man, listen, I'm sorry to let y'all down, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and stay up here.
No, brother. I'm sorry to let you down.
What?
What do you mean you said?
Dad! What are you doing?
I know you want to hang around for the rest of the episode, so stay tuned for more Hollywood Action Masters.
Chilling with my bestie. My best friend and me, BFF Chronicles, BFF Chronicles, my bestie. Oh, my best friend and me, BFF Chronicles, BFF Chronicles. I think we're gonna dance.
Hi, I'm Richard Norton, and you're watching Hollywood Action Masters.
You're gonna have to jump!
Who directs Second Unit?
Spiro Rosatos. Spiro is a fantastic, amazing director. He has this vision that I don't even know how to describe it. It's all in his head.
He's got the gift.
He has got the gift. I don't know how, and I've been with Spiro for 30 years, and I speak Spiro-isms.
Spiroese.
Spiroese, because he's the, how do you describe him? He's done just about every car movie you could do. All Fast 5, Fast 6, Fast 7. You get a camera in front of him, and he'll make these little tweaks, and he'll ask me if the cars need to do this certain thing. I'm going, why? Why? It's not going to work.
Impossible stuff he gives us. Mechanical minds are going, no,
it's not going to work.
We can't. Who's going to build it?
I know. And so I have to go in and figure out how it's going to work and do all this other stuff. And it works. I argue with him all the time about, let's do it in two pieces, because if this goes wrong, you have zero, nothing. And he goes, nope, I want to do it all in one. I'm like, all right, if it doesn't work, you got nothing. And 99% of the time,
I think for
works.
me, and we've all been together for 30 years.
Yeah.
The most amazing thing about Spiro to me is, we do all this crap, and we sit there in these seats, or we stand there on the sides of these buildings, and we go, holy crap, what the hell am I thinking about right now? Yeah. And then sometimes you go watch the movie, and your friends go, well, I could have done that. You're like, nah, dude, no. Spiro has a way of bringing that moment, that feeling that we're sitting there and everything's tingling to the screen, and you see it right on the Fast Sevens. I mean, it's amazing because you get to see that work, and it's exciting for us too. We go, that was intense, and it comes out just that way because we're there doing it in those moments, and that's his gift with us. And you'll go watch some action movies, and you kind of, wow, it's a lot of action, but his, man, you just feel like you're in that seat going right there with us. And that to me is the most rewarding thing, to see that work.
And then also, we work so well as a team. Between,
it's all about the team.
Spiro and Andy, just like, Spiro's very creative, extremely creative. And so sometimes he doesn't know how to communicate what is going to go on to all of the rest, to everyone. Andy totally understands where he's going next. And so, and like Andy said, we all have to be there ready to jump at any moment, because he could see something and everything could change. Let's go do that now. Boom. And quick. So we are all in tune with each other. We know how each other is going to react in different situations. And it's truly a team that works together and meshes so well.
On next episode, I talk to Spiro Rosatos, Second Unit Director of Furious 7. Spiro, we had your team on the show, and the love and respect that they have for you is huge.
We believed in each other and protected each other and trusted each other. Those are the people that we've stayed together. I've kept them with me. Most of the guys on my team have been there 30 years. It kept it safe. It kept us, happy and creative, and it took us to this level that we're at right now.
Now, back to our show. I know that coordinators, everybody works different. And I was told by others that we interviewed that some coordinators will say, no, or they won't allow any suggestions or ideas in. But it doesn't seem like you're that type of coordinator.
I want all the help I can get.
Totally the opposite. It's awesome, because I never feel like I can't approach Andy and talk to him about anything that's going on.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything. And it should be. I mean, to me, that's the only way to make what we're doing safe. because I can't see everything. I'm not there driving their cars. I'm asking them to do things without seeing it through their eyes. And they can tell me, hey, this isn't going to work. You know, it can't physically happen. I'm not going to make that corner. I'm going to hit this, or I'm going to hit him. We have to change something. And if I didn't allow that, and I didn't know these people, I mean, I've seen it too many times in my career that guys just do what you tell them to do, and it isn't going to work, and you have a wreck. And there's no need for that. I mean, everybody can talk.
Well, and because
I mean,
of
even extras, I tell them when they're on the set, if you see anything that looks out of the ordinary, or you don't feel comfortable with cars going by you, or anything, come to me, tell me, please.
And because of all your racing and growing up racing, and your brother Jack and everybody here, you know, when they start saying, hey, my car around that corner, Andy's, you know, this is what's going to happen. I know that's what you want, but this car, it's not going to make that, you know, and you take that and we turn it into
something else,
to something that will work, and we can get that vehicle around there, because these cars aren't set up ultimately for driving, you know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we try, but you get them and
A little less than perfect.
Yeah. Example, in Atlanta, they were getting the cars, the Barracudas, as we were on the set.
The whole show.
You know, because they have to find the old cars, which is hard, and then they have to get them set up, and because they changed whatever, you know, their picture cars is behind, and so I got in a car in Atlanta and put my foot through the floor because it was so rusted out. Yeah. And so, you know, you just, then you look around and you go, okay, what do I have to deal with here? Okay, this could happen, that could happen, just be ready for that. Yeah, and so they put a little plate on the floor, and, you know, off I went.
But that all relates going back to where she can go, hey, Andy, this.
Exactly.
You know, and then we have this huge sequence she's got to drive through right now. And then she's dealing with that, and then how it all comes together, and we stay on time, and we stay on our project, and it all comes alive. You know, that's what makes it.
Yeah, I think one of the best stories about the cars not being the best. Steve, we're racing on Pikes Peak, but we're not racing uphill. We're racing downhill. In our version. And so Steve comes over to me after the first day. He's got his car, and he goes, Andy, my car doesn't have any brakes. Really? And he goes, no, it doesn't stop. So, I mean, I think it took them
pretty much the whole show.
The whole show.
Yeah, pretty much the whole show.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things you end up running what you brought, you know, just learn to drive what you're given and do the best you can do. No, car didn't stop, so you try to,
and a lot of times
we're anticipate that.
And a lot of times we're cussing a lot.
Well, a little bit.
He's always calm. He just says, oh, okay.
Well, how do you get it to stop?
You give yourself plenty of room, or you avoid things. Or I mean, there are a couple times we almost had a couple good wrecks because it would not stop. Yeah.
Do any of the leads come to you guys and say, hey, I want to drive?
Yes, they do.
How do you deal with that?
I like getting them in cars when I can under the certain right circumstances.
We had Michelle in the car.
Yeah, she was great.
It was great because I got to work with her, and she was smiling from ear to ear.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah. And so, you know, we have a way of looking at the actors and seeing if they have what it takes to do it safely, do whatever little piece. Usually it's a little piece that we were asking them for. You know, so we work together and teach them what to look for, where to stop, you know, and we make sure that everyone's clear and that there's no cameras in the way or anything like that if something should happen and they hit the gas instead of the brake or whatever. Most of them are pretty good, but there's a few that have grown up in New York and have never driven. So those are the ones we really have to watch.
Catch me if I'm wrong, but ultimately, you know, we're all stunt people first before we've ever become gigantic stunt coordinators. And Spiro's a gigantic second unit director. He was an off the rail stunt guy.
Yes, he was.
the actors do all their own stunts. You know, and we're from that school, and so I speaking for my, it's hard to talk about this and stuff like this because, you know, we're trying to bring stories to life, and those characters are what we're driving. And when she talks about Michelle, but she's that character in that car, you know.
Yeah.
So this us coming kind of forward, like this is coming a bit forward for us, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, because we've always we're kind of from the old school where. You know, you come in and you know, this movie star does all their own stunts, you know.
How long did the entire film take to shoot?
7 months, I think. Wasn't it?
Yeah, well, they shut down a little bit.
With
so
the Paul Walker's,
they went for a long time.
It's a different program. Everything changed at that point.
That did.
With all due respect, may I ask, how did you guys take Paul's death?
Hard.
Yeah,
he's a phenomenal guy.
I couldn't believe it at first. I worked on 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7, and you know, he was such a great guy.
Yep.
I mean, it was just really hard to take, and it was hard to take for everybody. I remember, you know, when we came back and it was the actor's first time on set since it had happened, and everybody was just
down, and
it was tough.
It's crazy. That's
I still don't believe it.
Yeah,
I mean, you think about it and you go,
you know,
Paul's not here.
I have a lot of business like right near where it happened, and you know, before I left to go back, I just drove by and I said, Paul, we're doing this for you.
Yeah.